Hey guys, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about hurricane preparedness when it comes to the garden. I am in Hernando County, and Hurricane Ian has just been officially upgraded to a hurricane, and they have now issued some evacuation orders for my particular county, mainly along the coast. If you're not sure where I am in Central Florida, in Hernando County, which is on the west coast in the Gulf of Mexico side of Florida, which is where the hurricane is going to be coming in. And so far, the spaghetti models have it all over the place, but it kind of looks like we're definitely going to be seeing something. So what I wanted to talk to you about today is how I'm prepping my garden. And the first biggest thing that we did to prep the garden was this tree. If you've watched my channel for any length of time, you know I love wood chipping the branches that fall from this tree, and we haven't had a really good storm in a while, and so we haven't had a lot of branches chip down or fall down. So my husband and I got out here early with our pole saw and our ladder, and we cut down a bunch of the dead branches and chipped them up with our wood chipper. So that was our big first thing. And then we took any of the pots that we had in the front of our house along with our trash cans, and we put them inside the garage. The backyard is a little bit harder. So the next big thing I need to do is clean up this space, which has a ton of my garden stuff just all laid out. So all of that's going to go in my shed. The furniture that we have out here, minus these particular, those chairs right there, those will get stacked and put in the garage. But the chairs and the tables that we have out here are really, really heavy. We designed and bought them that way because we knew that we get hurricanes here. Your other option, if you don't want to bring them inside the house or in the garage or a shed, is to put them in your pool. Sounds crazy, but it works. The other thing that I'm going to be doing is things like this pot right here where I had my rice. It's all dried out. I'm going to cut that down, and that pot is going to be emptied and put in my shed. We don't have to worry about the trailer because it is 3,500 to 4,000 pounds. Most of the beds are going to be fine. Even with excessive amounts of rain, I've never actually had a raised bed flood, probably because we're not really in a low level area. We're actually in what's considered a high level area for Florida. But then you have things like this. Several pots in my garden, like that one, and this one right here. And then I recently moved my little pepper plants into this bed to get them ready for transplanting. All of those guys are going to have to come out. The other thing that people might be concerned about would be things like these bamboo posts that I have right here, or on this side I have my post with my trellis. Those are iffy. The wind flows right through those things, and things like these tomato cages right here, it flows right through them, which is not a big deal. They don't generally pick them up and throw them around. But if it gets above a category 3, I'm going to have to pull those out, because it could pull a fence post out that's not concreted in like those guys are, and it could be a projectile for my neighbors, which is not good. This guy is definitely coming down. He is extremely wobbly, so I'm going to pull him out. My tumblers are not going to be a big deal. They are both loaded and super heavy. I could not even lift them myself. They will probably be fine. We have a bunch of chopped wood that actually sits inside that little bench right there, so it is super heavy. As heavy as both of these green stalks are, they are top heavy as well. So thankfully they are on wheels. You can see down here, they're on wheels. So all that I have to do, and another reason why I keep them right here, is all I have to do is open up my shed and roll them right in right before the storm happens. Now, I also have a bunch of pots. These guys are going to go in the shed as well. To help save me some time, I'm going to use my cart. I keep it in here. I love this thing. Absolutely adore this thing. This is a gorilla cart, and it is just instrumental during hurricane season and also during our frosts. This thing can carry so much, and it's so easy. Anyone can really pull this thing around. It is not hard. We actually have an elderly neighbor who saw our gorilla cart and ended up getting one himself because it's so easy to pull around. The thing is super lightweight, but it can carry so much. So all these little plants that I have here, especially the smaller ones, they're gonna go in my gorilla cart. The roselles and the bigger pots, those guys I'm just gonna drag into the shed there. And then I have a few more little pots, especially my strawberries that I just got. I'm so sad that this is happening to them, but it's okay. These are the little mini strawberries that I have set in their little place. I always do this whenever I have a new plant that I am going to be setting. I set them in their space, in their little pot, to see how they will do in that location. So I've got those guys, and I also have my cutting that I made from my raspberry plant that you can see is growing. He's gonna go in the gorilla cart, and that's gonna go in the shed. Last but not least are my babies, my seedlings. So these guys, I potted up a bunch of them yesterday so that they, would be okay with spending a bit more time in the tray since I'm not able to plant them right now. And it might be at least another week before I can plant them because of the water and the wind and things like that. So I did pot them up, things that I traditionally don't pot up, like lettuce. I had to pot up because I just don't trust them going into the beds at this point. These trays are all gonna go inside. As a gardener, it might be a little bit nerve-wracking when you're about to go through your first hurricane season, or through your first hurricane here in Florida, but you start to get used to them after a while. Yes, you are gonna probably lose some plants. Yes, there's probably gonna be some damage around your house, some tree branches, fence posts coming down, mailboxes blowing over. Hopefully no damage to your home. That is the thing that we all hope for when we're going through these situations, is that the home is okay and that we're just dealing with some cleanup. But no reason to be nervous. These happen every single year. I've been in Florida 40 years now. I've been through so many hurricanes, direct hits, category 5s, tropical storms, storm surge. And I guess it's just like anywhere else that you live, where you just kind of adjust that to live here means you're going to have to deal with some of the weather craziness that we have. But more than likely, most of your things are going to live. Everything can be fixed. And pay very close attention to your evacuation zones. If you don't know, get online today and look up your evacuation zone. Follow the news. Make sure that you're paying attention so that you can leave as quickly as possible if you are in a mandatory evacuation. The roads get difficult to leave Florida. There's just like 2 or 3 main interstates that go north out of Florida, and everyone is trying to drive those interstates. So make decisions now so that when they announce these things, you already know what your level of risk is going to be, and you know when you need to pull the trigger to pack up your animals and your family and your children and your important paperwork and head out. Otherwise, if you're going to be like me, and I don't suggest this for everyone, but if you're going to hunker down, be safe, take precautions. I'll be recording during the hurricane and then afterwards whatever damage that I have, just to give you an idea of what we're looking at. And I'll also show you exactly how many plants do die and if I lose any of my precious fruit trees, which I will be heartbroken, especially my avocado, because I just put him in about 4 months ago and I'm not sure his root structure is strong enough to withstand category 3 or above. So cross my finger for little Cato. Thanks so much for watching. Stay safe with your family, heed the warnings, and I will see you on the other side.